So I wanted to talk about the whole firearm thing.
Great. Like I'm like almost 2 beers in and we're going to talk about guns. That's my favorite stuff.
Yeah. Because when Jared first talked to me, you know what I mean? Like kind of brought the idea of having you on, introduced you to me, talked about you, how you guys knew each other, whatnot. He threw out the word. I mean, I want to know, he threw out the word firearm specialist. I mean, would you consider yourself a firearm specialist?
No, because I'm not going to take credit for something I haven't invested monetarily into.
Okay.
So like there's places I could go to get licenses to be as good as I am, or I could just do it for me.
Oh,
so I took
fuck it. Yeah, do it.
I did the research. I took the training classes that were available to me locally. But in order for me to become a certified instructor, I'd have to go to like Montana and pay $6,000 to take a 11-day class on how to do shit I already know. Something that happened. And honestly, I like teaching, but I don't want to do it for money. I don't want to ruin my passion. So I don't. I have taught classes and I have instructed many times, offering the knowledge that I have accumulated over the years to people who are interested.
Right.
But I'm not going to pursue it as a career choice because I love it too much. And I don't want to turn it into, monotony where every day I got to talk to some fucking starry-eyed youngster that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
This is a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't want to teach a class of 50 people. I'd rather, have a buddy, If you wanted to go out to the woods and go learn how to fucking shoot and go learn how to manipulate your weapon in effective ways and learn the basics and foundation of firearm safety. Right. If you wanted to know this stuff and you came and asked me, I would clear my fucking schedule for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it's like...
Because I believe that firearm ownership is a right, and 100% of the time it should never be restricted. But as a firearm owner, 100% of the time, you should fucking take responsibility and learn about the things you are handling. Because if you just buy a gun and think that's enough, that's how people get hurt. Right. If you seek out the training and you educate yourself and you learn, and you have to prepare yourself for every possible thing that could happen with that firearm, accidents or intentional use included. So not only do you need to learn your firearm safety, do you need to learn how to handle your firearm, do you need to learn the fundamentals of firing your weapon, holstering your weapon, unholstering your weapon, learning how to clear your weapon, learning how to do everything, maintain your weapon. You also need to learn the legal side of that. You also need to learn your local laws. You need to learn everything that you can about how your local laws have been applied in criminal cases. Because you could be thinking you're doing the right thing and pop somebody in what you think is self-defense. But if you don't know the letter of the law, especially where you live, you're doing prison time. Ignorance of the law is not exception to consequence. Mm-hmm. So if you break the fucking law just because you say, I didn't know I couldn't do that, doesn't mean you're not doing jail time.
Right.
Education. Firearms, guns are super dope, but knowledge is true power. Period. Every day, all day long, 100% of the time.
So when did you kind of get into it? When did it become more of like a passion than just kind of like, a thing that people, cause a lot of people just get it, Second Amendment.
Yeah.
It's nice to have one.
You get your little fucking patriotic gun guy.
But when did it become something that like you're very, very passionate about?
Since I was a kid. My grandfather and my dad, like all the time. I went hunting with my dad when I was old enough to carry my own rifle. And so my grandfather actually was the first one. My grandpa was super duper strict about firearm safety. And that's when we went out hunting together and just the way he would carry his firearms, it just, I don't know, it stuck with me. It's something that, I don't know why, but I was super interested in how they work and super interested in how to make sure that when I'm carrying one, when I'm using one, I'm safe but effective and proficient. Like all the way down to like the simple way you carry a firearm, you can tell if somebody has experience and they're familiar with their weapon versus somebody who's never, just by the way they carry themselves, right? You could tell when a fighter is conditioned in the ring or when a fighter is new just by the way he carries himself, correct? Same concept with firearms with somebody who knows what they're doing versus somebody who doesn't. And I always wanted to know what I was doing.
I always compared it to getting your license, like getting to be able to be in a vehicle. You know what I mean? It's like, you have to go and you have to go to driving school. You have to take courses and know exactly what you're doing if you want to get your license. So it's like, I feel like they should implement that with getting guns as well. It's like,
so Go ahead. Sorry, I don't.
I'm just saying that. Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. If you're using something, because a car could be a weapon as well. It's like, you know what I mean, depending on how you use it.
Damn near everything could be.
Literally
I could
anything.
beat someone's ass with this microphone.
But you need to have a license before you do that first.
Yeah, microphone beater.
Right. That doesn't sound good at all.
So in that, let's switch the focus of that, but exact same restrictions, but on what we're doing now. What if you had to have a license to speak? What if you had to have a license to speak?
That's true.
Fuck is that about? Would you be okay with that? In order to sit, for all four of us sit here on this same screen, we would have to ask the federal government for approval first.
I mean, we damn near approved to using certain things, as platforms to speak on, Facebook, social medias, probably Zoom too. There's probably something in their agreement thing that says,
I'm sure
everything that you use is fucking ours.
But that's different. So there are already very many, very, very effective, if enforced, restrictions on not only firearm ownership, but firearm use application. So like if you want to go hunting legally, if you want to go hunting, you have to take hunter's safety. You have to learn about what you're going to be doing with that firearm. You have every right to own what you own.
Right.
And it's the same. But you don't have the right to do certain shit with it without education. That's the way the government's trying to lean on it, and I'm not necessarily against that. So like,
I'm not against that either.
Weapon permits. I have a concealed weapon permit. I've actually went and applied and got my card so that I can carry my firearm concealed.
Could you real quick clarify, like with this, what was it, July?
I believe July 1st.
July 1st. Is that an open carry, Indiana? Well, you live in Washington, so I guess you wouldn't really be. Okay.
But I could tell you really, really quickly. So, are you asking, did Indiana go constitutional carry, like permitless concealed?
Yes, exactly.
We
literally
did.
word for word.
I think just open.
No, concealed. Word for word. I need
July
you
1st,
to tell me.
2022, the state of Indiana will no longer require a handgun permit, and this is in Indiana.gov website. This is my specialty. So when you ask if I'm a firearm specialist, no, man, I'm an information specialist.
Oh, I love that.
That is true.
Oh, yeah, Zach. That's
So, Zulu Alpha informational.
Zulu
I will
read
you the legislation right now. On July 1st, 2022, the state of Indiana will no longer require a handgun permit to legally carry, conceal, or transport a handgun in the state. So you do not have to have a license to conceal. You guys are headed in the direction that, constitutionally speaking, is the way it's supposed to be.
I'm Samuel Adams up in this bitch, brother.
You could conceal carry. Now, what you need to also learn, though, is what does your state consider a handgun? And then if there are any restrictions on certain types, California, you can't carry a Taurus Judge. You want to know why?
Why?
A Taurus Judge fires shotgun shells.
Holy shit! Why does it need to fire shotgun
Judge? Yeah, my dad owns a
fires
Judge.
It has a 5-shot revolver that holds fucking 410 shotgun shells. And you can't carry it in California because in California, that handgun is considered a short barrel shotgun.
That would fuck you up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great for things like personal defense inside an apartment or inside your vehicle.
Yeah, blow
but
through
they're
someone's
dog shit
car.
in a firefight. 100% worthless.
I hear
so,
you.
like, if you're shooting back at somebody, the last thing you want to have is a baby's shotgun.
Yeah, baby shotgun.
But that's why it's important to learn the legislation.
Right.
So a person must not be prohibited person as defined. So prohibited person is under federal law if you're a felon, if you're a drug addict, if you're convicted of domestic violence, or if you're a person, if you've renounced your citizenship. Like, because you see those dumb motherfuckers that are driving around with no driver's license, and they're like, I'm a citizen of the world.
I do as I please.
If you renounce your citizenship, the Constitution doesn't protect you anymore.
Again, like you said earlier, if you didn't know, it doesn't mean you're not.
in Indiana, if you're over 21, if I'm reading this correctly, I'm looking for the part, if you're over the age of 18. If you're over 18 in Indiana, you could pack the Glock.
I don't like Glocks.
Well, excuse you?
I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't really like Glocks all too much.
But why would you be wrong on purpose? But why is that a goal?
Wrong on purpose. Just personal preference. I mean, it's not like I don't. I'll definitely end up getting one. Right now, I have a Smith & Wesson. There he goes.
Glock
He's got it right there.
43X with a Streamlight TLR6, shield arms, 15-round magazine. This is the perfect everyday carry.
But some Glocks don't have a thumb safety. That's where I get That's why
all Glocks don't have a safety.
That's
no
where
manual
I'm scared. That's where I'm scared, brother.
Don't be.
I need you to explain why I need to. Someone
Okay.
has, but I need you to explain
Training.
it more.
All right. So training, practice makes perfect. So if you want to get comfortable with carrying a firearm with the safety up, this is where I start. This is actually, it's called the Walmart walk. And
Walmart walk.
Do the Walmart walk. You take your gun, right? You don't go out with the intention of actually having to use it. This is to test mechanisms. This is a safety test. Take your magazine out, make sure your weapon's empty, rack it back so that it's ready to fire with nothing in the chamber. Put your magazine in, put it in your holster, spend the whole fucking day walking around town. Go to Walmart, go to the store, do whatever. Come home, drop your magazine, check your chamber a little bit. If at the end of the day, your trigger is still ready to fire, you spent the whole day
without it even going off. Yeah.
It didn't go off. That's called a Walmart walk.
Well, don't most
Glocks,
sure your weapon's empty. Don't most Glocks have? Well, first of all, they have a pretty heavy trigger pressure where you gotta grab, or don't they have those little double?
Stock trigger weight on a Glock is actually decent too. It's only 5.4 or 6.4 pounds, something like that. But if you want a great trigger on a Glock, a 3-pound trigger is best. The thing, and I will actually show you exactly how. Let me clear my weapon.
But you ain't hating on the Smith & Wesson MP Shield, are you? Not a bad pistol to have.
Shield is a great
I got a
firearm.
2.0. Yeah, I got a great little.
Yeah, the shields are awesome.
Awesome.
Glocks are better. That's all.
Yeah, at least I'm
not cheating on you. I've had 3 Shield 9mm, and I've had a Smith & Wesson M&P 40 Performance Center with the ported barrel, 5-inch barrel, RMR ready with nice sights. The 40's dope. 9mm is better.
Good. Well, I made the right decision.
We can get into the ballistics of that later if you want to, but
right.
So this is my Glock 43X. This is my everyday carry pistol. As you can see, the chamber's clear. This weapon is not hot. I've removed the ammunition from the area, so it can't.
Green iron sights?
Yeah. Well, these aren't iron sights. These are tritium, True Glow fiber optics. So I wish I had a flashlight handy.
Do they glow? They glow in the dark?
Well, they glow in the dark, and
I know a little bit.
I don't know if you can see how bright they get when they catch the lamp. So if you look at the top, you're going to do it through the camera. These are fiber optic posts. They capture light from the top of the firearm and refract it back into the rear of the firearm where you would actually be looking through the sight post.
Got you.
They also glow at night, but during the day, they're even brighter than they are when they're glowing at night, which is fucking. So I'm going to disassemble this firearm.
Firearm safety, everybody. See, he is showing us how to do it the correct way. Everyone should know how to do this.
There's no ammunition in the area, and I have properly cleared this firearm. So underneath the slide on this weapon, you'll see. Get my little fucking something here. Oh, that'll work. This right here. This guy right here, as it goes, it'll move up and down as I press on it.
Oh, yep.
That's a safety plunger that a portion of the trigger will contact. There's a safety mechanism inside the actual trigger here. See that little lever?
See, that's what I was talking about. The Glocks have that little lever thingy.
Yes. So if the trigger is pushed forward like that, and I'm not pushing on the actual safety lever, this trigger will not move.
It will not go off, no matter what. Even if you throw it.
Yeah. And if anything causes the striker here to disengage, this little hook at the back, that's the striker. That's the actual bottom of the firing pin, and it's under pressure from a spring. And it hooks on this little mechanism right here in the middle.
Isn't that crazy?
It's all super small, dude. These parts are...
You know exactly what you're talking about. It's just you're explaining it well, too.
So if anything causes the striker to disengage from the sear, which is what that little tiny part in the frame I just showed you, this plunger is designed to prevent the striker from moving forward, contacting the cartridge, unless the trigger physically has been depressed. Unless there is pressure on the face of this trigger, where that little lever is, you move it forward, And see, I got my fingernail on the back of the trigger, and I'm squeezing it.
It's not because you're not hitting that lever. You're not hitting the lever.
If you put pressure on that faceplate,
boom,
trigger drops right back.
My buddy has a 1911, bro. Beautiful 1911. Brother,
great weapon.
It is fucking beautiful. And it's got the lever too, so you can you can have it half cocked to where like it's hot. It's got one in the chamber, but it won't go off unless you pull the lever back. And then you can it's like multiple ways you can do it. I mean, that thing, I'm not an expert, so it's a really nice weapon, bro. It's so dope.
Dude, 1911s, I mean, there's a reason that they call it the two-time World War champion, man. that motherfucking weapon has carried us through 2 World Wars, bro.
It's been doing its thing. It's still doing back to back.
Thank you to good old Browning, the Masters, running out of time again. What the hell?
10 more minutes.
Yeah, we're good.
Like
and we'll just have to
shout out to the Thompson.
How long do you guys typically go on podcasts? Like, what is the...
About hour-ish. Hour 10, 15. That's what we've been doing lately.
I just want to know. I've never done this before, so I just want to make sure. Let me turn this dumbass fucking shit back off.
No, I like the stuff you've been...
Now that we're done drinking and playing with guns.
I know. I know. That's America, though. Everyone knows that.
That is, damn it. Where'd I put my bullets? Magazine. People out there, if you're watching this shit, stop calling this shit a fucking clip. It's a magazine.
Magazine.
Okay? I'm not quit fool you. It's a fucking internal box magazine.
That's for all the kids out there, all the young cats.
Oh, fuck. My kids could do the same. Everything I just showed you, maybe not the mechanical aspects of it, but my oldest for sure could show you everything about firearm safety that I could show you.
I am a little bit like concerned though, because something close to me happened like just recently. Like my mom, my sister, my nephew, and my nana all went to the state fair on Friday.
Oh, I read about this. I didn't know that happened.
On Friday, and they're apparently like the day that they were there. I'm not even sure what time it was. I mean, hard telling or not. But they seized the guy they seized the rifle from a guy who was there.
What?
At the state fair, Indiana State Fair, bro. Like on Friday.
And like what the?
There was a video of it on TikTok, so like you could see the gun and shit, and like what was.
I was about to say, what was he about to do? I can't even say that without even having that's fucked up.
But it's like
same shit just happened here at the Gorge. Bass Canyon was gonna have a thing, and this dude was in his car, loaded up two pistols, dual wielding pistols, and had all ammunition and shit, was asking people what time the Bass Canyon concert was over and where people were going to be exiting. And then somebody thought it was suspicious, so they notified local law enforcement at the venue. And they went and contacted the dude. He was planning a mass shooting right here in Washington
State. That's crazy, man.
Right here in Washington State. It's been on local news. Hi, Emmy.